Good morning, this is Kavipriya, Assistant Professor, EC Department, SNS College of Technology. I am going to discuss about the topic hazards in sequential circuits. And this is my flow of presentation. I am going to discuss about what is hazard and what are the types of hazard, and finally how to eliminate those hazards in a digital circuits. First, let us discuss about what is a hazard. Hazard is nothing but it is an unwanted changes that occurs in a digital circuits. So because of this hazards, the output of the digital circuit may get changed. So the main reason for this type of hazard is a propagation delay. Propagation delay is nothing but different signals will reach a different time to reach from input to output through the transmission medium. This causes the propagation delay. So the propagation delay is a major cause for the hazards. So because of the hazards, the output of a circuit, digital circuit may get changed. So it causes glitches in the circuits. So by understanding the type of hazards, by understanding the reason for hazards, we can eliminate those hazards so that the circuit reliability and performance can get increased. And next I am going to discuss about the types of hazard. So hazard in general in sequential circuit is classified into static, dynamic and functional hazards. In case of static hazard, the output changes momentarily but it should remain at the constant value. In dynamic, the output will be changes multiple times before being settling to a correct value. And functional hazard, it occurs due to the multiple changes of the input. First, let us discuss in depth about the static hazard. So in case of static hazard, the output will get changed momentarily, but it should actually remain at the constant value. It is classified into static 1 and static 0 hazard. In static 1 hazard, the output momentarily goes to the 0 state, but it should remain in 1 state. In case of static 0 hazard, the output momentarily goes to 1 state, but it should remain in the 0 state. And next is a dynamic hazard. Dynamic hazard occurs when the output changes multiple times before being settled. So it occurs in the multi-level circuit where there is a multiple path to reach the output. For example, the output will be changes from 0 to 1, 1 to 0 and 0 to 1 before being reaches the 1 state. So multiple changes will be occurs in the output before it is being set to the correct value. The solution is to avoid this type of dynamic hazard is by reducing the delays and by reducing the gate level timing. And next is a curiosity challenge. First one is the odd man out. Under Murray machine, state diagram, hazard and Mealy machine. This hazard is a odd man out because it is not a state machine component. And next is a riddle. I show every journey of states, circles and arrows are my traits. What am I? Which is nothing but it is a state diagram in which states are represented by circles and the transition from one state to other is represented by an arrow. And next is also one riddle. I link state with arrow, assign binary numbers, remove redundant paths for better design, which is nothing but it is a state assignment. And finally, how to eliminate the hazards. First and foremost thing is nothing but by mapping the adjacent ones in K map, we can eliminate these hazards. So add the redundant logic in the K map to cover the potential hazard areas. So by mapping the adjacent ones, we can increase the redundant areas so that these type of hazards can be eliminated. And by using the hazard free SOP and POS expressions, so by mapping the adjacent ones, by creating the redundant logic, we'll be getting a hazard free SOP expression, sum of product expression or product of sum expressions. And by balancing the delays between the path by inserting the buffers, we can eliminate these hazards. And by designing a circuit with proper time synchronization and proper synchronization between the input and output, we can eliminate those hazards. We have discussed in depth about what is an hazard, and we have discussed about the type of hazards in depth, and also we have discussed about in depth about the static and dynamic hazards, and finally we have discussed about the elimination of hazards also. And next is an assessment question. What is a hazard in a digital circuit? It is a temporary unintended unintended disturbance or changes. Changes is nothing but it is a glitch which occurs in the output, and the main reason of these type of changes is a propagation delay. Which of the following type of hazards occurs in a asynchronous sequential circuits? So all the three hazards, static, dynamic and essential hazards, occurs in the sequential circuit. So these are my references. Thank you all.